Shalom. Kohalo Yahweh, Bahashem Yahusha, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. And I got two clips, that I'm gonna show here. This one is from the brother Arrows of Indignation, 144. Go subscribe to the brother channel. The brother put up some beautiful content, very edifying, need to know videos in the times that we living in. So yeah, you got this devil. He's about to come down on that great wrath. When it comes to the tribes, man. Because war has been declared on the tribes. In fact, you didn't know, who the tribes were that I'm speaking of is the tribes of Israel, the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This devil is about to come down with that great wrath. Why? Because he know if he have but a short time. So you see the title up here. It said it's about to go down in Babylon, the enemy coming in like a flood. And the scriptures speak on that when you read Isaiah, that this enemy, this devil, Esau Edom, who Trump is, right? His people, your God-given, arch enemy, Esau Edom, your chief enemy, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is about to come down with that great wrath in the form of a flood, man. He's just gonna come in your neighborhoods and your houses. He's gonna strip you of your rights. He's gonna beat you down, put you in camps. We've been warning our people of this, coming for years, man. And our people just turned a blind eye, right? Shut their ears. But they're about to see, man. Because the Lord is tired of playing with our people. 2/3 of our people are going to fall by this devil. Right? But the same way this devil's going to come down with his great wrath, you're about to see some power that you've never seen, man. Right? That you've never seen. So let's get Isaiah, because I'm going to go to that. Where the scriptures talk about the enemy coming in as a flood. This is Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19. It says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him." What's going to be that standard? You're going to have brothers out here that get spiritual power, man. The Lord is going to show his power. This devil, he fixing to show his power. But the Lord is about to show his power, man. And no power trumps the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. So you're going to see a pushback like you've never seen. And this devil, he ain't counting on it, man, because Esau Edom, he don't believe in the Most High, man. This man is a walking contradiction to the Most High, man. The Most High is all righteous. This devil is all wicked. He's all evil. He's about to show you how evil he can get. And 2/3 of our people are going to feel that evil, man. Because they're wicked as hell. Like I said, we warned you. Right? All the scoffing, all the belittling, all the hatred that was shown to the Israelites, the men that was teaching on the highways, right? Showing you who you are, what you need to do to get right, to repent. You shrugged all that off, man. You went with the Christian church. You went with the Christian pastor. You went with the with Christianity, man. You went with that. Or you went with being a Muslim, dwelling in Islam. You went with being a Rastafarian, right? Talking about Selassie, man. You went with being a Buddhist. You went with being a Christian apologist, a Seventh-day Adventist. You didn't want to believe that you were an Israelite. You didn't want to repent. You ain't want to get right. So the Lord is going to put hell on you, man. He's going to put hell on you. Our people are about to be numbered to the sword, man, in a major way. So let's, play these clips. I got some scripts we're going to bring out. Yahweh Shem Shah willing to let me edify. Check it out. Shalom.
And we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do. We have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please.
And Eve, she's the second enemy to the so-called Negro, man. The so-called Negro man. Right? Eve, the so-called black woman, chiefly the so-called black woman, is one of the Israelite mans. Behind Esau Edom, she is the number 2 enemy to the Israelite man. Not all our women, but the majority of our women, they are the second enemy to the so-called black man here in America, especially here in America. So she wants to see you locked up. She wants to see you put away, right? Just as bad as the so-called white man does.
And then we'll help with New York.
So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is an emergency. Yesterday, August 21st, Washington, D.C., Aaron Parkinson even said they're no longer going to indict or prosecute civilians that carry rifles and shotguns in D.C. Now, they made that announcement August 21st. Today, Davos Hegi said the National Guard will now be armed. This is no longer a question of what came first, the chicken or the egg. This was set up. I want you to look at the logistics of DC. I want you to look at this, everything. This was set up. I am calling it today. You are waiting for the shots to be fired. You are setting the stage so Trump can say, I was right. You and your administration, Todd Biden, Steve Miller, Donald J. Trump, all of them, they're all a bunch of cowardice cocks and traitors. You will get innocent people killed. All in an attempt for greed, power, racism. And for what? What else? To what extent? This will only end one way. And you are trying to make sure of that. We knew where this was going. We have been calling it for a very long time.
And Esau Edom, a lot of these Edomites, these veterans, a lot of the Edomites in the know, they knew what was coming. But here you have our people out here, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. They worried about a fucking parade, man. They worried about a cookout, right? They worried about their Don Julio and that ounce of weed, man. They're not looking at the bigger picture on what's about to hit this place, man. They worried about working, right? Getting a new position at work, getting a raise. They don't understand that this place is about to be a fucking war zone, man. Right? Life as you know it is about to be chopped down to nothing, man. Like I've always said, it's going to come down to survival and protection, man. First and foremost, before that, wisdom and knowledge, because the scriptures tell you that wisdom and knowledge was going to be the stability of thy time. If you don't have any wisdom or knowledge, your ass going to be through, man. And I'm not speaking on just any wisdom and knowledge. I'm speaking on the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. That's what's going to get you by. Right? Along with that exemption from judgment that the Lord put on certain men and women and children of the Israelites here in America, man, and all across the globe. So it's about to go from games to reality, man. It's about to go from rumors to action. It's about to go from peace to war. And let's get it, man. This is in Ecclesiastes chapter 3. And I'm going to start at 1 and I'm going to jump. Ecclesiastes 3:1. It said, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. Right? Let me read verse 2. It says, a time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. So everything has a season, man. Right? So, matter of fact, we're just going to keep going. Verse 3, it says, a time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. Right? So the time to build up, that's at an end, man. It's about time to break shit down. It says a time to weep. Weeping is coming. People are weeping now. It said, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. Right? Verse 8. It says, a time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. We're in that time of war. And after the war, and after this devil was taken down by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, then there's going to be peace. And that peace is only going to come for the Israelites. Everybody else is going to be in continual hell, man. In a continual lower state. The Israelites are going to be exalted. Right? Along with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Under Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Right? The elect of Israel and the rest of the elect of Israel. Right? Right? Meaning the governing body, the 144,000. Right? Yahweh Shah, you know, our forefathers, King David, King Solomon, right? The angels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, right? That's gonna be the setup, man. Right? That's what's coming, man. Righteous war, righteous indignation, and a righteous kingdom. And it's gonna be peace. Right? So to read that again. Ecclesiastes 3:8. It said, a time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. So the Lord does hate, man. Right? And the Lord loves war. What it tells you in Exodus chapter 15:3 or 3:15. I ain't read that in a while. I think it's 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Right? So that's what time we in, man. Right? Right now, the 4 archangels are holding back the 4 winds of the earth. But the Lord is about to give that order for the angels to be released from the 4 ends of the earth. So that way the wind can blow on the earth. And that wind is the destruction, man. Right?
stay free.
Louisiana, Tennessee, Ohio, South Carolina, and then potentially next slide. Tingling incidents. No service members have been injured. It's just been equipment. With pretty much every level of the operations as it stands right now. What's the weapon status? Right now, we don't have any weapons. We don't have any weapons right now. Right. So we want to make sure we get them the proper lodging, things of that nature. And now we got our 4 and our folks working hard to do places pre-identified in all the different locations as well.
What do we start with orders wise? 7 days, 30 days? What do we?
25 days.
Okay. So it goes to the FY.
It does.
Those authorities, tell me what authority you got. It goes over here and says how many you can actually bring on board under that authority and how many days you can keep on. So all that's in there. And we'll just.
This is showing you that the U.S. military is about to go to war with the U.S. citizens. Showing you that this place is fucking through, man. America is done. America is through, and people are about to see it, man. Life in America, as you know it, is through, man. It's done.
We'll just follow the law. That's what and there's nobody I'm more comfortable with doing things like this in the D.C. National Guard. I mean, we are very rehearsed in the D.C. National Guard. You get to do these kind of things. Maybe not what we're here for right now. Maybe this one's a little different. But as far as the military operations go, I mean, thank you.
It's about to go down, man. And a lot of people can see it. They know it. A lot of people see it and they know it. Right? A lot of them are afraid. A lot of them are gearing up. A lot of them are strapping up. Right? But a lot of our people, you don't get me wrong, you got some jakes out here that's with it, that knows what's going on. And us, the men of the Lord, we've been telling you what's going on, man. See, we ain't afraid, man, because the Lord said he got us. And we believe that. We trust in that wholeheartedly. We doing what Yahweh Shem Yahushua told us to do. We ain't got nothing to worry about, because you know what? For one thing, the Lord controls everything, man. The Lord controls these devils. The Lord controls the U.S. military. The Lord controls America and this government, man. So we ain't got shit to worry about, man. Let's get another one. Because the Lord said that this place is wicked as hell. And it has to go. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 13 and 11. It says, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. Right? Because Babylon is completely wicked, man. And the people therein that have that Babylonian American mindset. It says, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. Who's the most proud? Esau, Edom. You see how proud Trump was talking, man? See how proud he was talking. You said, we're going to go in there. We're going to do it. It's going to get done. People are crying for us to come over there and do it. We're going to get it done. We're going to help. He don't think that he thinks he's just going to come in smooth and do what he got to do. And then that's it, man. He go back to, doing this wickedness and dirt. But now the Lord got another plan for this devil, man. Right? So it says, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible, man. So the Lord got something in store for this devil, man. It ain't going to be a walk in the park as he think of this. Right? As he thinks of this. So let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 1. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Because what? America is spiritually all of those places, man. All of those places. They're spiritually all those places. It says, verse 2, gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. So the destruction of Babylon the Great is at hand. right? The Lord said, bewail your children and be sorry, man. You got to, hey, this is a time of sorrow, man. This is a time of not effing around, right? This is a time to get serious. To hell with all that other stuff, man, right? To hell with all that. This is a time like never before, right? So let's play this one.
The definition of a civil war is simply a war between citizens of the same country. It doesn't matter their status or ranking. All it says is citizens against citizens. So now when we think back on our first civil war, this was civilians versus civilians. However, we are now seeing the start of what I believe is a civil war. However, it's our National Guard and some of our military against civilians. However, both are considered citizens. In a few decades from now, they might even argue that this started a few months ago out in California. We are seeing a very gradual rise in the violence occurring, especially through the footage coming out at some of these protests. They've also been given the order to carry rifles in DC, and I think they are waiting on one specific triggering moment for this to become fully widespread. In today's world, especially in this country, we are not going to see one big in-your-face sign of this is civil war. That would cause a loss of power. We're already seeing how many people are simply turning a blind eye to this and continuing their lives like nothing is happening. And that's how they want it, because if every single person in this country was fully awake and aware to what was going on, they would lose immediately. But this small uptick in violence and this very gradual war happening is what's allowing them to take further and further steps. A lot of us predicted that a civil war would happen during this presidency, but it's turning out to be nothing like how we predicted it or how we even in our minds think of a civil war. It's very different. But I hope you're all aware of what's happening right now.
As a veteran, people keep asking me, is this actually a military occupation? Are we really going into a civil war? The answer is yes, to the occupation part. The civil war yet to be determined. The truth is, you cannot send the military onto U.S. soil to control any parts of the United States without it being some type of military occupation. That's what it is. That's the definition. The military is occupying an area and controlling it. The fact that he's talking about sending it to 19 different states, likely he's going to try to send them to blue states like New York and Los Angeles and Massachusetts. It's not going to go well. It's not going to go well at all. I fear for the soldiers. I fear for the people that go against the soldiers. I fear for my countrymen. Flat out. Doesn't matter what side you're on. I fear for the American citizen.
Are we on the brink of another civil war? If you would have asked me 10 years ago, do I think I would ever see a civil war in my time? I would have said no immediately. But now, it's not that far-fetched.
And it's going to be the same way that when the men of the Lord told you that all hell was going to break loose here and you didn't believe it, certain things were going to happen on the earth and you didn't believe it. The same way you felt 10 years ago about it, a civil war happening and brewing in this country, and you said, nah, I couldn't tell you, I wouldn't believe it. It's the same way you're going to feel what this lady right here is feeling, when that shit happens, man. When all hell breaks loose, when chaos ensues. You're going to be like, man, if you told me this 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it, but now I believe it. In the same way, you think that the men that are not on the streets teaching, telling you who you are, telling you you're an Israelite, telling you all the things that the Lord said in order for you to get right, you're gonna, how you just came against them and didn't believe it, you're gonna believe it, man. you're going to believe it. You're going to have a crazy look on your face when what the brothers were saying comes to pass, right? You're going to have a confused, perplexed look on your face when you realize that we were telling you the truth, man. Right? So y'all heard what they were saying. And the scriptures speak on all of it, man. This is 2 Esdras chapter 14 and verse 16. It says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker with age. So much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein, man. So the evils are going to increase, right? People are going to get worse. Violence is going to increase. Bloodshed is going to increase. People's lives are going to decrease. Your way of living and what what you were comfortable in is going to decrease to nothing. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. Yeah, remember Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, remember him. Seek him now. Repent now. Change your ways now. Right? It says, while the evil days come not. Because right now, you still got a sense of society. You still can go hang out. You still can go and have a drink and eat out and dress up and, call your homies or whatever and have a time out, a nice time out. But as you see what's happening, the Lord is cutting all of that off slowly and surely, man. You got to understand these things. When you read 2 Esdras, 16th chapter, it tells you that the Lord is going to send scourges for amendment, right? Meaning he was going to send things down here to whip our people to get them to turn back. Now, the ones that, that Yahweh Shem Yahushua put the spirit on to see those things, they're going to wake up, the elect. But 2/3 are not. They're just going to go on with life as nothing happening. It's just an isolated incident. It's going to pass. They'll get it under control, right? Because the scriptures also say they will not be mindful of the scourges, right? They're going to look past what's going on. But the elect is not, man. They're gonna see and know that, this is the end. I got to get right. I got to turn from my ways. So let's read that again. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. Remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Because when these days actually hit, when life is, when you can't work, when you can't eat the way that you've come accustomed to, when you can't do those things, you're not going to have pleasure in those days, man. A lot of you people are going to lose your mind, right? So the Lord is telling you, remember him now, seek him now, repent now, turn from evil now, right? Go and listen to the men that he set up. Take heed to the warning, because the evil days is right around the corner, man. I got one more. We're going to shut it down.
Which is crazy. Because what happens when you back someone into a corner? Like if it's a scared animal or a scared person, What normally happens when a person is backed into a corner? You know, that fight or flight response? That's kind of what happens. If you back someone up into a corner and they feel like they have no other options, they usually come out swinging because they feel like they have no other options. You've literally taken away every single option and they feel like they have nothing else left to lose. And so they feel like their only option is to fight. Just so happens it's people within the country that's happening too. Not saying I condone or promote violence or war in any way, shape, or form. All I'm saying is a civil war is not so far-fetched.
Okay, so listen. Me and my husband decided to go back and watch the Purge series, right? Starting off with Purge Anarchy, because the very first Purge really doesn't matter. This isn't our first time watching the series. We watched Purge a lot because, I mean, for obvious reasons. But tell me why we've never paid attention to the fact that in the Purge Anarchy, the new founding father, his name was Donald Talbot. Outside of that, towards the end of the movie, at the very end of the movie, I guess you can call him one of the officers or one of the sergeants. I don't know what you call him. He's saying that the citizens aren't purging the way that the government wants them to. So what did they do? They sent in militia groups and started targeting projects, basically low income type neighborhoods, to so-called keep the balance. And you can't tell me that that doesn't sound exactly like what Donald Trump is doing in DC.
And I believe that was the first purge. The Purge Anarchy, that was with the I forgot his name. The dude that saved the woman and the child. But even in that one, they show you that they had certain spots that when you look at the movie, the Edomite that was in the big trailer, he had a whole fucking surveillance system in his truck. And when he went in there, they had like certain spots that was lit up. And it was all the spots where the so-called Negro and Latinos were, man. So this devil has always had you on his mind to exterminate you. But yeah, that was in the first purge with the Jake that out there in Staten Island that when Esau went through the projects on every floor, just slaughtering Jake, man. And that Jake was he pretty much did what he had to do during that time. Like, you're gonna have Jake, the Lord gonna rise Jake up, man. Right? The Lord gonna rise Jake up. All them purge movies, they're very spiritual, man. You had the one that me and my rib just watched, Purge Forever. I think that was the last one when they had the so-called Latinos, the Northern Kingdom. That was they was fighting with Esau Edom, but they wanted to take out the Northern Kingdom, man. Right? It was on the border of Texas and Mexico. Right there in Texas, man. So, these devils, they know, man. They know. So yeah, man. Let's finish this off.
What he's trying to do in Alabama, what he's trying to do in New York City. Like, they put it in our face. It's called a vision for a reason.
So Pete Hegseth has ordered the National Guard to start carrying assault rifles, weapons, and assault-style weapons on the streets of DC. And I know there's going to be lots of comments and questions about this, but here's my 25 cents on this. They want violence to erupt. They want it to happen. Because that will then justify the control. What do you think? Let me know what you think about what I've just said in the comments. I'll say it again. Trump wants violence because then he's able to reign in control.
And that's the truth, man. They call it order ab chaos. Right? Order out of chaos. That's what they fixing to bring, man. That's what he wants to bring. But it's not going to go the way he wanted to. Right? The Lord is going to allow him. It's going to allow him to get some stuff done, but the Lord is fed up with Esau either, man, and his shit. So it's about to go down, man. Let's get this last one. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 15. It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hand." It's civil war. Right? That class war, that civil war, that race war is coming, man. You're about to see a America that you never thought you'd see. All that Mr. Nice Guy and, everything going through smoothly and things like that, that's about to be a thing of the past, man. This devil's about to come down with that great wrath, man. And the Lord going to allow him to do it to a lot of our people because they fucking hard-headed, man. And they don't want to get right. You other nations, you through. You have no protection. All your gods, they're nothing but idols, and they're not going to protect you, man. To you so-called Negroes and Latinos, Jesus and Earth Pig, who you call Jesus, they ain't coming to save you neither, man. The only savior is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. That's it, man. So let's read that again. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 15. Well, let me go up at 5. 2nd Ezra 15 and 5. "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." That's what's coming, man. That's what's coming. Verse 14. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." Right? "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Nobody respects Trump like that. Most of these people making videos, especially, a lot of these so-called white people, they making videos saying how much they hate the Trump administration, man. They ready to overthrow the government. Right? Verse 17. "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able," man. Martial law is going to take place. Right? Martial law is going to happen, man. And when you finish it off, verse 16, it said the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Yeah, people going to take matters into their own hands. They're not going to wait for laws to be passed and the government to make a move. They're going to do what they need to do in order to get shit done. Right? Verse 19, 2nd Ezra 15 and 19, it said, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor." Right? "But shall destroy their houses with the sword." So like I've always said, man, your friends who you think are your friends, even your family who you think is your family, your neighbors, right? Those that you were with from day one, your day ones, right? They're going to turn on you, man. Right? They're going to show you who they really are, man. Because guess what? When they can't eat and you can, what you think going to happen? Right? When you got something they want, what you think gonna happen? You think they're gonna act nicely? The Lord said He gonna split everything up. He gonna cause division. That's what's coming, man. Scary times are coming. Evil times are coming. It says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods," meaning take your food, take your deodorant, your tissue, whatever they need. They taking it, man. Hey, if your woman look like something, they're gonna take her too. It says, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So it's about to be a hell. It's about to be hell out here. Right? It's about to be hell out here, man. So I'm gonna leave it there. Yahweh Shem Yahushua willing, the elect was other Father. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. To the next lesson, I'm gonna say Shalom.
Corrupt. They want it to happen because that will then justify the control. What do you think? Let me know what you think about what I've just said in the comments. I'll say it again. Trump wants violence because then he's able to reign in control.